Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
You don't wake up dreaming of McDonald's fries. You wake up dreaming of McDonald's hash browns. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Number 27, have you ever done it in a moving car? Yes, again.
Oh my God, Meg, is Veronica Mars wearing your uniform? Better make sure she washes it.
I'd boil it if I were you.
We fear what we don't understand. Veronica's cool, you guys, really.
Tell that to Logan. She put a bong in his locker and got him suspended.
Or to Ashley. She told her that her dad was having an affair. A week later, her parents split up.
You're too nice, Meg. The girl's a skank.
Says Pam, the girl who scored a 63 on the purity test.
Shut up.
Gosh.
I did not.
What's a purity test?
It's this online list of questions of everything you could possibly do that's dirty or fun or illegal. Have you smoked pot? Have you ever shoplifted?
Have you ever done a reverse cowgirl? And then it tallies up your answers and gives you the score of what percentage pure you are. The lower the score, the badder you've been.
So if you get a 60, you're 60% pure, 40% sack jockey. Anything under 60 is really slutty.
Unless you're a guy.
Hey, hello. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Veronica Mars. We're just two boys watching every episode of Veronica Mars for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 8, titled Like a Virgin, directed by Guy B., written by Ori Wallington. Original air date.
These are some names.
They're names. They're definitely names. The original air date, November 23rd, 2004, to an audience of 2.76 million people. And this is an episode, everybody.
This is the episode everyone's been waiting for.
Yep. And if you were waiting for it and you want to discuss it now that we're discussing it, you should join our Discord. Discord link is in the show notes. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun talking about Veronica Mars. We went back and we started having more conversations about Firefly once again. Mm-hmm. People are in the Firefly chat popping off. People are in the Buffy chat popping off always. I mean, so many conversations. Mm-hmm. We have a food channel. If you want to drop your best recipes, put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
And Discord is also where we had our listener poll over what movie we should review on our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. The winner of that poll was Jennifer's Body, starring Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried. And we will have that episode out this week. So be on the lookout for that on Patreon. We are also doing Boys Watching Dollhouse. And Dollhouse got a little bit crazy this week.
Dollhouse kind of sucked me back in. They're doing a lot of, they took a little playbook from Buffy and Angel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Joss Whedon up to his old tricks again.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, it's patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. How are you doing, Vance? What's new?
What is new? What is new?
Name one new thing in your life.
One new thing in my life? I feel like I finished a little edit project for a friend of mine that turned out all right.
Hell yeah.
Dusted off the editing chops for a minute. That's one.
Nice.
One new thing, I guess.
Very good.
I'll give a bonus thing. Wife's out of town for a little bit of the week, so so your boy is floating free right now.
It's party time.
It's party time. Time to get
the
that.
Cat is away.
Time
the
to start.
mouse is playing.
Time to focus on the Nintendo Switch gaming.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have any other announcements for before this, or am I going to crack open this white peach Zoa and just
I am
fucking
also doing a
it.
white peach Zoa.
Simpatico.
And I'm pouring one out for something we missed last episode and didn't realize after we recorded.
I know.
Andre, the non-abusive boyfriend from last episode.
He could still be abusive in
verbal, like emotion. I don't. Maybe
they led us to believe he was way worse.
He's an asshole, but he loves this lady that he's known for less than a year. Anyway, the actor playing Andre is the same actor who played Parker in Buffy the Vampire Slayer from last week's episode.
Fans texted me about that like 2 minutes before Discord started to lose their minds about like, I can't believe you guys didn't recognize that was Parker.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, Vance was on it.
I didn't recognize him at all. I randomly stumbled across him, the actor, on IMDb looking up something, and I saw that it was Parker.
Great eyebrows for forever.
Did he have good eyebrows in this one? And now I don't know.
Yeah, good eyebrows. They were disguised because he had a beard in this, and you can't really tell.
Yeah, he looks different. Yeah, he had different facial hair, different look, and he was doing a different performance. So good on him.
Absolutely, he was. Yeah. So yeah, thanks to everybody on Discord for pointing that out. Thanks to Vance for pointing that out. Yeah. All right, predictions for Like a Virgin. I'm pretty sure that we predicted a couple of joke things because we didn't want to predict what it was actually about. And then we were both wrong on everything.
Yeah, you said Reservoir Dogs, big penis, Like a Virgin story happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost, that didn't happen, but like the plot of that is kind of interesting. And then I said Wallace wants to take Georgia to a Madonna concert and get scammed.
Yeah.
I love when they
Our
introduce
joke predictions were wrong.
I love when they introduce a new character like Georgia, who's going to be his girlfriend, who goes to the same school as his, and then she's just not there anymore.
I will say that this show is doing like the Veronica Mars, or the Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing, where it's like they introduce a big, crazy plot line, and then they'll forget about it for an episode, and then come back to it the next episode.
Yes, that's called having 20 plus episode seasons and not 10 episode seasons or 8 episode seasons.
My brain has changed.
Yeah, well, you would think, hey, is your dad not focused on this case? You just gave her new information. Like the next episode shouldn't be like, well, I guess I'm going to just hang out at the apartment and not follow up on this damning information you gave me, this new evidence. But that's the thing about the 22 episode seasons and not being appointment viewing, but not being on demand. So you don't know when people are jumping in and out. That's why they always have the recap stuff.
I wonder if the later seasons of Veronica Mars, where they like rebooted it, like adopted that new less than, 13, 14 episode type of thing where they don't have any kind of like filler episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right. Like a Virgin. After our joke predictions, I think we both predicted that it was going to be about how Veronica lost her virginity. And that is also not what it turned out to be about.
No. Which is wild when stuff like this gets brought up and she has seemingly no reaction. Like she doesn't have to have a big one, but there's not even like a moment where she like takes a pause. There is one later in the episode, but it's not about that.
Vance. It's because she's tough, my dude.
Yeah, she just got over it. she's like, you just get over it. Fucking, I don't know. I don't know what you guys talking about. My mom left. There's a sniper trying to kill me. My best friend died. I have been assaulted.
Assaulted.
Yeah, no one at school likes me. What? So what?
I pulled myself up by my bootstraps,
I have not watched Euphoria, but I would love to see. Drop her into that school and see what happens.
True. But okay, we open this episode up with a recap of Abel Koontz firing his counsel. Duncan Kane used to be Veronica's boyfriend. Veronica's mom used to date Jake Kane. And it's kind of all the recap-y shit. So we open the episode with Veronica looking into the whole shoes picture thing with the Lilly Kane case.
Yeah, she's holding them like, she's just like, do these match?
She's holding them up to like kind of the light, like looking at an X-ray.
Yeah.
And we finally get a name for this guy, this lawyer that I love this dude's voice.
You wanted him back. You just was like, we haven't seen him in a while. And he came back.
I love this guy. His name is Cliff. Cliff, the lawyer, comes into the office and Veronica asks him if she can go to death row to meet with Abel Koontz because Cliff has been his publicly appointed, court-appointed attorney because no one wanted to touch this case. So he's like the public defender. And Cliff is like, I doubt you're going to be able to meet up with this guy because Abel Koontz has seen no one. He's not interested in seeing anyone. And he's just going to accept this death sentence. And Veronica's like, come on, man, come on. And then Cliff is like, I don't think so. And I'm annoyed now because you made me believe that your dad was calling me. And there's also like hints that Cliff is not a very good lawyer.
Right. My note says he's a bad lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, she shows him the evidence and he's like, I don't know. He's crazy. He came back and took the shoes.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know. I failed at that law class.
Yeah,
like, bro.
I was like, can he be like somewhat competent, but just not like have him just chose to be a public defender because he wanted to and didn't care about the money or something? But no, he's just not good.
Yep. But then Veronica shows him the pictures of the shoes and she's like, don't you think this doesn't add up? And he's like, yeah, I guess it doesn't if you say so.
What did you do in the courtroom? Did you just plead guilty and just walk away? Like, geez.
And so then Veronica basically convinces him to let her try to ask Abel Koontz, like, Cliff is going to write a letter to Koontz to see if he will meet with Veronica.
Veronica's going to write a letter.
Yeah. Because, there's a whole other thing going on here. But he's like, I can't promise anything. He's not meeting with anybody, but sure. I mean, you're welcome to try. Veronica's like, cool. So then we go to Veronica's school, and Veronica is in the communal shower. And she goes back to her locker and somebody has stolen all of her clothes. There's girls snickering at her and they put Veronica's clothes in the toilet. And then we get introduced to a new character for this episode. Maybe for more, who knows? But a girl named Meg shows up and she's like, ugh, people here can be so terrible. You can borrow my cheerleader uniform. And Veronica walks out in cheerleader uniform and there's more snickers. I wrote it. All the extras are laughing at her. Just in the background, like,
look at her. She's in a perfectly fitting cheerleader outfit.
Yeah. And then Veronica looks across the quad at Ryan Hansen, who's laughing at something. And we get Ryan Hansen's character's name.
Did we get it here? Because I heard it later. I didn't notice it here.
Okay.
It was in a classroom. It was in a classroom where I got his name.
We do get his name later, which we will save.
Yes. Yes. We're getting everybody's names.
Teaser for you.
We're getting everybody's names. Cliff and but this one blew me away.
Right. So Ryan Hansen is like on his laptop or something. He's laughing at something. And he's basically filling out a survey. It's called the purity test, and it's 100 questions, and like based on what your score is at the end of the test, it's based on it's like how naughty or pure you are. And they're going through some of the questions. He's talking about the test. Some girl named Pam, girl Meg, her boyfriend Cole, and Duncan eventually shows up, but
yeah, it's Pam is kind of with Duncan. Meg is with Cole. Meg and Cole are saving themselves and open about like not being about being virgins and being pure or whatever. And And
people are shitting on Veronica Mars too, and then Meg defends Veronica Mars.
And Duncan is just,
bro.
What is his character, man? What is he?
I have no idea, and we're not doing quote unquote for Veronica Mars.
Duncan is on one in this episode, dude.
He really fucking is, dude.
I'm like, get him back on the antes. I don't know. Something's.
Yeah. So Ryan Hansen's going through the purity test, and he's like, here's a couple example questions. Like, have you ever smoked a cigarette? Have you ever like stolen anything? Have you ever gone to the mall after it was closed? And then Duncan goes, have you ever done reverse cowgirl? And then Pam goes, and I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. And then like Duncan looks over at her. I don't know what this character is all about.
I know. They're really waffling with Duncan. Like,
I don't know what we're supposed to. Well, I will say that Meg defends Veronica, and then Ryan and Pam bring up the fact that she planted a bong in Logan's locker, and that she also mentioned that girl's dad's affair, and then they broke up later. That scene that felt like really shoehorned in, but it's now.
They also are like, "Oh man, you let her borrow your cheerleader uniform. You should fucking burn that after, because Veronica is such a hoe bag and all this shit."
It's like, don't you know that Duncan used to hang out with her?
Right? Like they were the it couple at the school. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then we find out that the purity test was emailed to the entire school. And
that would go crazy at the school. I feel like when I was in high school, something like that would have like been like a week-long thing that would have just fizzled out.
100%. 100%. It's like a TikTok trend.
Yeah.
But so then we go to Veronica hanging out at Wallace's house, and they're watching TV, and they're talking about the purity test. And Wallace, basically the higher the score you have, the more pure you are, the lower, the more unpure. And Wallace got a 70 on the test. And he's like, man, I was one away from being cool. And then Veronica like unzips her hoodie and like flashes him, but like flashes him with a sports bra. But they first show you from behind.
Yeah, I had to close my laptop, rewind it back. I was like, what are we getting? What's going on?
Unbuckled my pants.
Like I wore pants while I watched it.
But yeah, they show it from behind to start, and it's like, whoa, fucking what the?
There goes our prediction of Wallace and Veronica never hooking up,
right? But then they like show the front view, and it's just like her in a sports bra. And
it's not even a sports bra; it's just like a top.
It's like a camisole or something.
Yeah, like, it's nothing actually.
Yeah, but then Wallace's mom shows up in the middle of Veronica like flashing him, and she's like, "Wallace, can I talk to you for a second?"
Which is amazing. Great character introduction. Great character introduction.
It was so awesome, dude. So awesome. And Veronica like zips up her hoodie like sheepishly, like whoops. So the mom like pulls Wallace into the other room, and she's like, "Look, Wallace, like, I don't really like that you're hanging out with this Veronica Mars girl. I've heard nothing but bad things about her dad, about her whole family. I mean, there's got to be other kids that you can be friends with." And Wallace is like, "But I like Veronica. She's great." And then she says something like, "We moved to this town because we needed to make a fresh start." And I was like, uh-oh, here's another mystery that's going to have to be unraveled.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that too hard.
Oh, dude, when she said we needed a fresh start, I was like, uh-oh, what did she do in the previous town? But
I was just like, oh, the dad's not even around. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, his dad died.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they moved.
Okay, fair enough. But so yeah, she's like, "I just don't want you hanging out. Please make other friends." And Wallace was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And then he goes back.
But she's fast and loose.
Mom, don't you want your son getting a little something? Where's that nice Georgia girl? We haven't seen her in 3 episodes.
What happened to her? She's not the brightest one. But
I mean, this is also a Logan-free episode. There's no Logan in this episode.
yeah, they mentioned Logan got detention for, or like got suspended for the bong thing. But I'm like,
bong thing, yeah.
But that was like, that's months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Logan and Weevil free episode. They had their episode last week.
True. So Wallace goes back to hang out with Veronica, and Veronica's like, I guess I shouldn't have flashed you. And Wallace is like, oh, no, it wasn't anything about that. And then Veronica's doing some more research on the laptop, and she's like, did you know that you can buy the results of anyone's purity test if you wanted to? Like, you could just buy them. And she's like, oh, man, school's going to be fucking crazy tomorrow.
I was a little confused here by what happens later. It seems like you can buy anyone's tests for $10. But then the storyline goes into like hacking people's stuff.
Yeah.
Because I guess other people are faking tests.
Yeah, they're faking tests.
Yeah. I'm surprised people are answering tests accurately.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's a lot of...
Well, I guess they didn't know that you could buy it until after they all took it.
But everyone's like talking about it openly, too.
Yeah, true. All the cool kids, anyway.
Yeah. You think the lame kids would be taking the test and then buying their friends' test results?
I don't know, man. Maybe. Probably. Wouldn't you, Vance? Don't you want to know my purity score?
No, not at all. I wouldn't be like, you know what? I gotta have $10 for this. I read a 70 questionnaire.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, dude. I mean, filling out a one. I mean, I guess you're in high school. You got anything better to do.
Some of these answers, though, we find out in the next scene are like very long. They're not multiple choice. They're like detailed.
Yeah.
It's like you're writing a journal entry. It's like, why would you do that?
They're very pointed and specific questions at a certain point.
You know, we're from the era of like the BuzzFeed quizzes, where it was just like answering a bunch of bullshit to get a bullshit answer. That's what I would feel like this is.
Yeah.
But people are filling out like detailed stuff.
Fair enough. So school the next day, as Veronica predicted, is insane. It's like that scene in Mean Girls when the burn book got distributed. Everybody's going crazy. People are accusing each other. Like all the extras are having a real good time grabbing each other's lapels and shaking each other.
Who are you sleeping with?
People have like all of their purity numbers like written on their lockers.
Yo, where's this vice principal, man?
Yeah.
How is there just graffiti on the lockers in the school like this?
Dude, every episode there's like some kind of crazy vandalism going on. Did they get that car off of the flagpole?
Someone in Discord, not from the States, mentioned how some of their flagpoles like disconnect and you can like lift up and put in. I don't know. That would explain this, but I don't think I've seen it. It's been mostly cemented in for flagpoles that I know.
Yeah, I don't inspect many flagpoles, but
I gotta pay $10 for your purity test to find that out.
Oh yeah, Joe, what's this? You don't inspect flagpoles? Explain that!
Explain yourself! You made me look like a fool!
But speaking of that, that's the exact kind of conversation that Cole is having with Meg. He's like, well, you had sex with your Spanish language tour guide when you went to Panama or whatever.
I was like, that's such a detailed thing to be written into like a quiz that would be in a magazine.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean,
how would it even calculate the answer based off of that?
Well, he kind of deduced it with like 3 or 4 different questions. It was like, have you ever hooked up with somebody in a foreign country? Have you ever hooked up with somebody that didn't speak your language or spoke a different language? Have you ever hooked up with somebody like on a summer fling? He's like, sounds like your trip to Spain, Meg.
Okay. Yeah, what we find out later is even weirdly doubled down on this. And I was getting scared about the episode. Because if the episode went where I thought it was about to go, I was going to be like, this is the second time they pulled one of these shenanigans.
Yeah, dude. Some of the stuff like wasn't adding up to me. I was like, wait, what actually happened here? But thank God I'm not Veronica Mars. I would have given up on this case.
Yeah, right.
I was so fucking confused, dude.
Like, I got my friend's murderer I'm writing love letters to.
I got bigger fish to fry. I got snipers after. I got crosshair pictures.
I don't know where my mom is.
But Meg says that she didn't even take the test. But Cole is upset and he's like, oh, yeah, well, it says here on your purity test that you're a big fat liar, too. And you lie. So that checks out. And he storms off in a huff, and Veronica goes over to like cheer her up. And she's like, I'll find out who's behind this and I'll clear your name. Mm-hmm. And so Veronica goes to like the computer teacher and asks him a very like detailed computer hackery question. She's like, how do I hack into the mainframe to get to
she goes to Mac first.
No, she goes to the computer teacher.
Oh,
first.
She does go.
And then the computer teacher is like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know how to do that. I'm a substitute. Like, I'm actually the gym teacher.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the computer teacher. That's the gym teacher. Yes, there it is. Yeah, and there's a lot of going to places to get it. Yeah, sorry.
There's lots of new characters too.
Yeah. I did love the gym teacher response.
Yes,
he's like, yeah, I just run this class. I don't know anything about computers.
I'm teaching typing.
Yeah,
basically Mavis Beacon.
Yeah, I'm thinking about their game on Friday night. Okay.
Yeah, there's a fucking throwback. Mavis Beacon teaches typing.
That's how I learned to type.
Yep, but he tells Veronica that he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You need to go meet up with Mac in the parking lot. She's got blue hair. And Veronica's like, okay, cool. So
why is she in the parking lot?
No idea.
Like,
and she barely has blue hair,
right,
dude.
I think it's interesting that he knows that she's in the parking lot. Like, her being in the parking lot's not the problem. The fact that he's in the classroom and he's like, yeah, she's in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's how she spends her computer class, because she's so good at computers.
Well, what we see her doing in the parking lot is just fucking... She's like... Veronica walks through the parking lot and she finds Mac, who is just like trying... She locked her keys in her old jalopy, and it's like covered in mud and disgusting. And Veronica's like, oh, I see 6 strands of blue hair. You must be Mac.
And we've never met each other. The school is huge.
Let me help you break into your car. So she breaks into her car with her, and Veronica explains the situation about the purity test. And she's like, I think that people are falsifying these documents. I need to find out who's behind this whole purity test thing. And Mac is like, well, you need to meet up with the IT guy. He's the guy who has all the student passwords. And he would be the only person that knows that, because I don't know any of that stuff. And I'm not able to like hack into the system, but I might be able to hack into the system. But Veronica's like, all right, cool. Thanks for the info. And Mac also knows this guy, the IT guy, whose name is Remy
Des Moines.
Yeah. She knows his schedule. She's the biggest fan of this guy, apparently.
Yeah. The school has an IT guy that comes 2 days a week or something. Mac is played by an actress, forget her name, but she's in Napoleon Dynamite and Waterworld.
Yeah, I recognize her from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
But
did you also recognize Veronica saying "for shizzle" in this scene?
Dude.
That was weird, but I did love that Veronica introduced herself like how actors, like when you meet a famous person and they introduce themselves by their name, and it's like, but I know, like, it's always weird because you know who they are. Yeah. It's like, Veronica, you're the most notable person in the school. She's like, hi, I'm Veronica. Like, no shit.
Yeah. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
You're a disgrace. Did I tell you about, I don't know if I talked about it on this podcast, but my friend actually saw Kristen Bell at like a grocery store parking lot. Mm-hmm. And she looked at her and was doing like the, like, is that Kristen Bell look? And Kristen Bell went, yes, it's me. And then took a huge drag of a fucking joint and blew it and just got into her car.
All the stories I hear about her, it's like she's got that little bit of an edge. Like this carried over. The snarky one-liners is her.
So fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, it's me.
Yeah. I think my wife was walked past her a couple times.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen her. Yeah.
Doesn't she live around you?
Yeah, she's.
That's where my friend said that she saw her.
Yeah, no, I know where they live. Yeah.
Oh, Vance, we're so close to the stars.
So close to the stars. Got the tour. We got our tour map.
Yeah. But yes, so Veronica's going to try and see if this guy Rennie can help. So then we cut to a different scene where Wallace is taking a picture of Veronica, and I was like, what the hell is going on with this? And it's just like she's got a white backdrop and she's like posing like she's presenting something like Vanna White style. And so they take that picture. Veronica sees Wallace's mom like talking to her tenant. Mm-hmm. And the tenant hasn't really been paying rent and he seems like a real fucking piece of shit. And he kind of vaguely threatens her like, hey, I just can't get work because, I hurt my back because I fell on these stairs, which you probably should have had fixed. Like he's going to like sue her or something. Mm-hmm. And that's why he can't work. And then Veronica's like, oh, that guy seems like a real a-hole. And I don't like him. A little hint toward the future.
Interesting they have a tenant and another place. Yeah, all right.
I didn't know if that was like their shed or like...
Well, there's a lot of those places out here in LA with the like little extra house in the back. The little...
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I didn't think they lived in one of those where they had like extra space to rent out. And what is this, 2009, 2008?
2009. Yeah. 2004. 2004.
2009
is Dollhouse.
Okay, yeah. So 2004, that's still like... Yeah, I don't know. This is pre-Airbnb-ish time,
But, yeah, Wallace's family's got a dirtbag tenant who's not paying his rent.
Squatter right, man. Squatter's rights.
Yeah. So it's the next morning, and Meg is doing the high school news, and she's talking about how there's going to be auditions for their school play, and the school play is Cabaret. Very inappropriate high school play. Very inappropriate high school play.
They're mature people. They can handle it.
But she's talking about it. And then her co-host, who's a guy, is like, and Meg, I heard that you're quite the actress. And there's like this awkward pause. And it's like, Meg, I guess. It's implied some kind of thing from the purity test. Like,
well, she's been pretending to be pure, but the purity test shows that she's actually more loose than she's let on. So that's why that line triggers her. But the way the guy delivered the line, I thought he was actually trying to do it on purpose. But then he seems confused and like the music.
Yeah, well, he's like, well, weren't you the lead in last year's play?
Yeah.
And Meg's like, oh, yeah. But when he says, like, heard that you're quite the actress, like the whole school kind of is like, oh, shit, sick roast, dude. But then he's like, yeah, you were the actress in the fucking play last year.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, right. I'm successful at everything I do. I'm Meg. But she's embarrassed.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, oh, man, that was humiliating. Oh. And she talks to Veronica about it. And she's like, yeah, boys have been calling my house and teasing me about it.
Before that, she gets up and then we get introduced to Kimmy, who's there behind the news.
Yes.
Because when Meg gets up, she has this look on her face like, oh, I got away with something.
Yeah.
And then like Kimmy's there and
she goes over to Kimmy and Pam.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, man, that was awkward as fuck.
Yeah. And I guess Kimmy wanted to do something. Like we get a hint that Kimmy wanted to do something that Meg's doing here.
Well, Meg was like, we shouldn't have let Michael or whoever her co-host was. She's like, you should have been the co-host. And Kimmy's like, damn fucking right I should have been. But yeah, so then, yeah, you're good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Meg goes and talks to Veronica about how she's been teased and bullied about the purity test thing. And Veronica's like, does anyone know your password to the high school email account or something? Like, how could somebody have hacked into your stuff, or like a Cole or anybody? And she's like, well, nobody except for maybe my sister Lizzie would. And then Veronica goes to interrogate Lizzie, and
Lizzie looks like a real housewives of Neptune in training.
Dude, she reminded me of Jackie from that, not Jackie, Eric Foreman's sister in that 70s show.
Yes. I had to really dig deep in the recesses of my, I was like, all right, I got the main cast. And then you went sister. I was like, oh boy, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the one that was like bullying Jackie, and yeah. She had the kind of same haircut as this girl, Lizzie.
She had a vibe. She's the cool one to hang out with.
Yeah, I mean, she was the one that was banging everybody. Kind of like Lizzie. Anyway, but Lizzie's like, no, I wish that I posted her purity test. I didn't do it. This is also, we got to call it out. This is an interrogation that's happening in the bathroom.
Yeah. This seems like a different bathroom almost, too.
They just shot it different, Vance.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because
the same blue tile.
Yeah, they never shoot from that like other side like this.
Yeah, but basically, Lizzie's jealous because Meg is like the good kid in her family, and Lizzie's kind of the bad kid. She does all of the unpure stuff, whereas Meg is like goody two shoes, top of the class, lead in the play, like perfect. And Lizzie's like, I'm living in her shadow. I can't compete. That kind of shit.
Yeah. That's always something.
Yeah. I had a little bit of that with my sister for a little bit, but
I bet you did.
But you know what? We grew out of it.
Yeah.
We grew out of it. I'm the artsy guy. She's the science gal. There we go.
They saved one person from the poll, but they couldn't save the other one.
Yeah. So then Veronica goes to meet with Rennie, the computer IT guy, and he turns around and Veronica goes, whoa. And I was like, what? Were you surprised he was young?
Yes,
He's
because
got a French accent.
Because Mac says, oh, when you see him, you'll know. Because she references, and you're expecting computer guy, IT, nerdy, glasses, overweight guy. And instead you get like apparently we find out a 23-year-old French guy.
Yeah.
Which is a little different than you would expect.
Yeah.
But maybe not considering who's running that like police station. The like the lady with the German accent.
Yeah. Inga or whatever her name is. Yeah, there's lots of accents going on in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, she meets up with this guy and she starts asking him like, hey, I want to do a birthday wallpaper for my best friend. Can I get her password? She'd be totally fine with it. And he's like, no, I cannot. I cannot give the password. I give no one the passwords. And Veronica's like, what if I say pretty please? Do I have to pay you or something? He's like, no. I do not give you the password. And Veronica's like, all right, shoot.
I love it when people don't fall for the cute girl act that she has.
Yes.
Which flies in the face of what she said to the lawyer in the first scene, where she says, people sometimes have trouble saying no to me. And then we cut to the scene, and the guy's like, nope.
Yeah. I do not give the password to sexy girls.
Yeah.
Sexy little girls. On fear.
I was like, that was her plan, just to go in there and just sit up.
Ask.
Why not just like sit up by her computer and just watch her type it in or something?
Yeah. So then we go to the auditions for Cabaret, and Veronica's watching it, and Kimmy's auditioning. She's singing, and then it's like, all right, that was good, Kimmy. Good stuff. Meg, you're up. Meg starts singing a song about being a prostitute sex worker.
And she's giving it her all. She's fucking nailing it, seems like.
She was giving it her all, but then the whole room starts chuckling at her because they know about the purity test. And then we get these very creative cinematography moments where it's a big close-up of Meg from the side, and you get Veronica crossed armed looking at her. It's like, oh, it's so thought-provoking. Why is Meg being forced to sing this song about being a prostitute in cabaret?
While everyone is slut sneezing, as they call it.
Yeah, which I'd never heard before, but I like it.
Yeah, I never heard it called that either. Slut. 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 In this scene, though, no teacher step in to stop it.
Nope.
What the fuck, man? There are people snickering and slut sneezing during the audition. And then we see and I was like, maybe there's not a lot of teachers. And we pan over to a table looking like America's Got Talent or American Idol. And I'm like, what are they all sitting there? They're just not, you're not saying shh, not even a shh from a teacher.
And then they see also Meg is getting clearly upset and crying.
And they know Meg is the golden child.
Yeah.
Insane.
It would have made sense if Jane Lynch was there.
Yeah. Somebody needs to step up and take reins of the school.
But Meg leaves and she's crying. She's so upset about this. And Veronica goes up to her and she's like, hey, it's not that bad. You're not the biggest unpure hoe bag in this school right now because somebody has graffitied a purity test number on Veronica's locker now. And Veronica's, she's a 14, my dude.
She's a 14.
Very impure. Very impure.
And I was like, what's up with the vice principal? I mean, these lockers are getting graffitied during the day.
I will say it looks like Veronica's is made with tape.
Still.
But the other ones were definitely graffiti.
Yeah, people are trying to clean them off. Oh, man, yeah.
But yeah.
Visually fine, but this vice principal's been doing locker checks, but what is he doing about lockers getting vandalized?
Well, you see, he only checks the inside of the locker. That's all he's concerned about. The outside.
The outside is up to you.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's what's on the inside that counts, man.
And it's drugs. I know it.
Oh, so yeah. Also, wasn't Meg's number 40?
I forget. Yeah. But it was interesting. It was interesting to see everyone talking about it and joking about how pure and impure they were. And then everyone just ripping Meg for being, I mean, I get it. She's it's a shocking discovery of a person that they thought was super pure. But
well, they also have a little bit of commentary about, I don't know if this happens later. Okay.
Yeah. About the guy,
Yeah. If you're a guy, it's cool. If you're a girl, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never understood. We've brought this up when we did a podcast on girls. We did this on Buffy. Never understood the quote unquote slut shaming move. It's
you want them around.
Hey, man, I got to lose my virginity, but I don't want the girl to be sleeping around. It's what are you doing? You're shooting your own your foot off there.
I'm going to quote the great stand-up comic Mark Normand, where he says, everybody, I don't get slut shaming. It makes no sense to me. It's kind of like Walmart, because everybody makes fun of Walmart, but at 2 a.m, you're happy they're around. That's when Walmart used to be open at 24 hours a day.
And we didn't realize the corporate greed and takeover of all businesses of the monopolization.
That's just America, baby.
These girls are giving it away for free. They're not turning massive profits.
Yeah. Anywho, we love sluts here. That is the official stance of boys watching Buffy, who is now watching Veronica Mars. Huge slut supporters. Go get it, Meg.
I honestly thought, well, we'll get to it, but I thought something was going to happen with that. I thought it was going to be a little twist.
Yeah, me too. So we get Veronica then emailing Abel Koontz that she wants to talk with him, and she's made up a fake persona of this Southern girl from, I guess, Abel Koontz's hometown, and she's photoshopping a picture of her at some university that's in his old hometown.
It's the sign of Virginia. It's like the small town sign. It's like
Schillenberg or something.
Schillenberg or Stillberg or something, Virginia.
Yeah.
And boy, this Photoshop would not work. They took that like at night in front of like a sheet, and the lighting would be so weird to then Photoshop that into a bright sunny day outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it looks better for what they did, but there's no way that photo that Wallace took will match. Those edges would be all weird. Yeah.
But maybe Abel Koontz isn't the smartest guy around, but maybe he is.
Maybe he's a little freak that's going to want to go see some tiny little girl that just happens to be from his town.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Abel Koontz, man. Interesting guy.
He hasn't seen anybody. Maybe he'll see a girl the age of the girl he's murdered, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I thought that she said that Veronica's persona is like she's a college student. It's like
but she showed a picture of herself.
Yeah, dude.
She's tiny.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, movie lovers, this is Kyle, host and producer of the Movie Wars podcast. We're not just a movie review podcast. There's plenty of those. On Movie Wars, a panel of stand-up comedians blends humor with deep film analysis using their unique war card system to grade movies across key categories. Each episode delivers thoughtful insights and spirited debate, offering a fresh comedic take on film analysis. New episodes drop every Thursday on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Deeply researched, gut-wrenchingly funny, you'll love Movie Wars.
Your data is like gold to hackers. They're selling your passwords, bank details, and private messages. McAfee helps stop them. Secure VPN keeps your online activity private. AI-powered text scam detector spots phishing attempts instantly. And with award-winning antivirus, you get top-tier hacker protection. Plus, you'll get up to $2 million in identity theft coverage, all for just $39.99 for your first year. Visit McAfee.com. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
So we then find out that Veronica's purity test was all made up because, she didn't take the test. And she meets up with the Rennie about changing her password because she thinks that somebody may have hacked into her account. There's a little jokiness about like, well, you should not have his password be something like your dog's name or your mother, the streets you grew up on. You should have very, very intense. And Veronica's like, my password is GRX !apostrophe XQT721. And he's like, you need to get this stronger password than that.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very funny. So we go to the tenant inside of Wallace's house now. And he is like cooking a steak on their stove.
Did you notice the continuity of like cooking a steak and then later he has a completely clean pan?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's cooking a steak and Wallace's family comes home. They're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing in here, man? And he's like, oh, my fucking stove doesn't work. And they're like, you have a stove in your apartment. And he's like, I don't like it.
Well, he says he has a hot plate. He says he has a hot plate.
Yeah. And Wallace's mom starts yelling at Jeremy. She's like, look, dude, you haven't been paying rent. Now you're just like breaking into our house. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then Jeremy starts to unravel a little bit. And he starts shaking the frying pan like looks like he's going to whack somebody with it.
The frying pan no longer has a steak in it or any grease or anything. It's completely clean. Not even hot.
Wallace kind of steps up. He's like, I'll beat the shit out of you, dude. I don't give a fuck. And then Wallace's mom holds Wallace's back. She takes him away and she's like, you know what, Jeremy? Do you, boo-boo. Do you.
I love that she tells Wallace, set a good example for your brother because he's got a younger brother there. And I was just like, this mom.
Dude, his younger brother's like 4.
Yeah, yeah. But it's weird that the mom is just like, yeah, there's a strange man in my kitchen. That's fine.
Looking unstable.
Yeah.
Looking like it might
what was his interview like to get into that place?
Right? But yeah. Jeremy is a crazy person. So Wallace then shows up at Veronica's house And he's like, I can't stay at my place right now. My mom wanted me to go somewhere else because my mom's been dealing with this like shit ass tenant. And he started acting a damn fool. And Veronica's like, my dad could help with that. My dad used to be a cop. He loves busting fucking skulls, my dude. And Keith overhears this. He's like, yeah, I could help out. It's no big deal. I could pay a visit. And Wallace is like, would you please? Like, it might help. But yeah.
So this is Keith's first scene.
Yeah.
He comes out of the room putting on his jacket and overhears what Veronica's saying. And he goes, am I giving you the birds and bees again, Wallace? Yeah. And Wallace has this like look on his face where he goes like, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's the line, Keith?
Yeah.
Am I giving you the birds and bees? You're joking about the birds and bees talk.
We talking about the birds and bees again, Wallace?
And then Wallace has a look of like, that's funny, Keith. Or we have to. Just like, man, so weird.
Yeah. But Keith's going to help him out. He's going to go maybe threaten Jeremy.
Keith has such a strange vibe.
Bro, Keith is so weird.
Yo, it's making me question like his character on Just Shoot Me.
Right? His character in Just Shoot Me was largely like the straight man.
Yeah, he was the straight man, but he was also like the Playboy photographer. Like he was the
Playboy photographer then?
No, he was the photographer that was always dating models. Like like he was the Playboy. Like
I thought that he was like always lusting after Maya.
I think
the main woman.
I think they did have the love story, but he was definitely like hooking up with like. I mean, okay. It's one of those series. Everyone's dating everybody for like so many things. True. I don't remember the show that vividly. Like I just remember
there's one
the David Cross episode. I remember
Brian Posehn was like their mailman, but there was one episode I remember where David Spade was about to have a threesome, and he gets a call from like some super hot model, and she's like across town, and she's like, "We're waiting for you. It's me and this other lady, and we want to hook up with you." And then he has to like race across town, and he keeps coming into like these obstacles. And every time he has an obstacle, he's like, "Please, I'm about to have a threesome." And then everyone's like, "Please go right ahead." It was just
I just remember David Cross came on and he was been pretending to be someone's like mentally challenged cousin for a long time. And it's like,
oh my God,
chicken pot pie. Yeah.
I remember this now as well.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. God, what a show.
Yeah.
What a show. Anyway, so Keith... No, wait, we're skipping a scene. I skipped ahead a little bit. Keith is going to go and he's going to help Wallace out maybe. So Veronica goes and she's talking to Meg about how Meg's sister, we're in class now. We're in a class. Veronica's talking to Meg and she's like, "Yeah, I feel like it must have been your sister that shared your purity test because the same purity test appeared in Grindr Girl magazine or something."
Grind Girl magazine, which is a magazine that originally ran the test, and the only person that subscribes to that is
Lizzie, Meg's sister.
How did she find that out?
She's good, man.
Okay.
She's Batman. She's Batman.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Hansen's character makes some kind of rude comment.
He slut sneezes again or some crap.
Yeah. And then the teacher reveals Ryan Hansen's character's name.
Yo, this blew me away.
Ryan Hansen's character's name is Dick Casablanca.
Dick Casablancas.
Remember the first episode we had a lady named like Tootie LaFleur or something like that? What was the lady's name in the first episode? I was like, that's a great burlesque name.
Oh, yeah.
But Dick Casablanca, dude.
Yeah.
Dick Casablancas.
And my brain had to be like, okay, Casablanca, classic movie. This guy has to be like rich. But I'm like, Casablanca is not like a family name, you know?
Well, that's what's crazy is I thought that she was like making some kind of, the teacher was like making a comment about like, oh yeah, look at Dick Casablanca over here or something. Like that wasn't his real name, but it is his real name.
It's his real name. And no one has made how
is that guy not bullied constantly?
And then this is followed up by Veronica looking at him and being like, okay, Dick, you just made my list. And I was like, he hasn't been on your list already?
Right?
That
guy's got to be on the list.
This guy's been a douchebag from day one.
Every time we see him, he's like laughing and snickering at her and oh my God, dude. But Dick Casablancas.
So good,
unbelievable.
Man. Yeah.
I can't find the lady's name from the first episode. I'm so upset.
I'll find it.
But yeah, man. So Dick Casablancas. I could not believe it. I wrote it in my notes with like 1,000 exclamation points.
Oh, absolutely. What a name. What a name. What a name. Great.
So then the next scene is Keith going to visit Wallace's house. He meets up with Wallace's mom.
Got the name for you.
Okay. What is it?
Loretta Cancun.
Yes, dude. Loretta Cancun and Dick Casablancas?
Yeah.
Bro, dude. Bro. Come on with these names. I love it.
Yeah.
These are the zestiest fucking names I've ever heard.
I'm making fun of Dick Casablancas. You got to go by different. He goes by
Ricky.
Dick. What do they call him?
Well, dude, the name of the fucking restaurant in Casablanca is Rick's. So that's why I thought that it was like a weird like joke about Casablanca, the movie.
The teacher says that name with no joking hint at all. She says it with a straight face. That's it. That's his name.
If this isn't his name,
it's his name. There's no way this teacher is coming up with a clever, insulting nickname. It's his name.
I need to confirm. Yeah, that's his name. All right.
Of course, yeah. Because Veronica says, Dick, you just made my list. No wink to that. Like,
oh my God. Loretta Cancun, Dick Casablancas.
Mm-hmm.
It's another side note. He does not look like a guy that would have the last name Casablancas.
I mean, have you ever seen anyone with the last name Casablanca?
I would assume it would be like some kind of like Latin type of person.
I don't know. Where does Casablanca take place?
Morocco.
Yeah. That's
not just
African.
This fucking white bread white guy.
I don't think there's anybody named Casablanca. I was like, is he from the rich Casablancas? I'm like, that's not a thing that I know of. He's not a Rockefeller.
Anyway, Keith goes to visit Wallace's mom and he's offering help. He's like, I heard you've been having trouble with your tenant. Heard he's a real piece of shit. I could come and help and like, you know, this is kind of what I do. And Wallace's mom's like, no, thanks. I've heard about you. I'm good. He's like, you sure? You sure I could help? And she's like, no, I'm good. I'll worry about my own shit. Bye. Yeah. And then she like closes the door.
Yeah, it's like, worry about your kid. I'll worry about mine.
Yeah. He's like leaning.
I don't like his body. I don't like his body language at the front door.
Yeah, he's like,
be a professional, man. Was it the cop uniform that was keeping him straight up?
He starts standing straight up, where he's like, hey, I heard that you've been having a problem. Like Veronica told me, or Wallace told me. And then she's like, oh, you worry about your kid. I'll worry about mine. And then he just like kind of leans on the doorway like he's trying to mac or something. And I was like, Keith, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets the door slammed in his face and he looks over at the mailboxes, sees Jeremy Masterson's name on his mailbox. And he's just like, all right, that's all the information I need.
And I was like, okay, he's not going to let it go.
No, of course not.
Because this is his B story.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, Keith, like
what a story it is. What a story it is.
Yeah.
So, and Keith is not an intimidating presence, dude. Like,
I didn't. Part of me, like having seen the show and knowing stuff, I'd be like, okay, let Keith help you out with this thing, lady.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm Wallace's mom in this situation, I open the door and that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, you know what? I don't want you anywhere. I don't want you to be a part of this vibe.
Wallace's
You're giving off a weird
seems...
vibe.
Yes. Wallace's mom also seems like she's like towering over him. Like she seems taller than he is.
It just seems like she's like, I'm already dealing with one crazy white guy. I don't need a second crazy white guy in this mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Veronica gets a phone call. It's from the correctional facility. It's about the visitation with Abel Koontz, and it is on. It's happening. This Friday, 4 p.m., Veronica meets with Abel Koontz.
This is one of those things that I started getting worried that she wasn't doing her fake accent when she answered the phone. Because when she's writing the letter, she's putting on this fake Virginia Southern accent. And then when she answers the phone, she's just in her normal voice. And then I was like, you idiot, Vance. She was talking to herself when she was writing the email. No one's heard her voice.
Yeah. But yeah, the meeting is happening. So then we go to a table of 09ers, Duncan with his cronies. They're all making fun of Meg. And they're all like, oh, Meg, we all thought that she was such a goody two-shoes. Turns out she's a huge hoe bag. But her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, Cole, is there like, she actually is like a really good girl. Like, I really like her, but I can't trust her anymore or something.
No, doesn't he like make a joke about like having 69 or something? Or like having done something? Like, I think he's I think he's taking the time to like try to say like, oh yeah, we were doing freaky stuff.
He said that she is a good girl, but that yeah, you're right. He does like flip it to be like, but she is a freak. And then everyone's like, yeah, dude, yeah.
Which is so crazy because he was openly talking in front of these guys like, hey man, we're saving ourselves. And he had an awful line in the beginning. He's like, what is second base like, guys? Tell me what's second base like.
Describe it to me.
And he's like looking in the air. It's like such a overplayed. But if you're that comfortable in this friend group of people that just rip anybody, right? Like they're very open to like Duncan not having had sex and like making fun of him. And I don't know if Duncan has had sex now, but he's talking like I don't know what's going on with him.
He's talking like he's like king shit on Turd Island. Like he's top 09er. I guess he is the class president.
I mean, he is the guy that could be like, hey, Ryan or Dick Casablancas, get your ass out of here. This nerd's sitting next to me and eating.
That is true. He does have that power.
Yes.
Dick Casablancas, hit the bricks.
Hit the bricks.
Dude, I can't get over that's his name.
Hit the bricks, Dick.
Casablancas, don't you have somewhere better to be?
But yeah, Cole now is like talking like, yeah, we were doing it. But I'm like, you were fine saying that you weren't doing it. Like you were dating the pure girl that everyone knew was pure and you were fine with it and no one was giving you shit about it.
Yeah.
But now you have to like do this macho thing where you're talking about how you were getting it. And I understand that might be him trying to save his fragile ego. But it's also like, dude, you seem like very comfortable the other way. They also call Meg a Britney Spears virgin, which was very fitting for like, she went through some shit because of that, which is insane.
Yeah, dude. That's incredible. It's insane that was like a news story that like people were following. Like she was like 16, 17, dude. Like, and then you're a virgin, right?
And then the Justin Timberlake thing of it all.
Yeah. But Meg's sister, Lizzie, she overhears this conversation about Cole, you know, kind of talking about hooking up with Meg, and Lizzie comes over and she's like, hey, Cole, you're a huge piece of shit. And I know about all of the love poems that you wrote for Meg. I've seen them. They're all stashed in her drawer. You want me to tell your friends about that? Mr. Cool Guy, trying to be cool guy around your buddies, but I know what a fucking loser you are. You write love poems. And on top of that, you're a premature ejaculator. And then everyone's like, oh shit, dude.
I'm like, what is this Cole character?
Well, did they hook up or not?
I know. He's like, what's second base? Premature ejaculating. I don't know what's happening. It's just it's just everything. They're just throwing everything in here.
Quote Dave Chappelle, there's no such thing as premature ejaculation. Whenever I come, it's right on time. Oh, what were you trying to do? Come? Well, beat you.
That's a great stand-up. That's a great one.
Dude,
yeah.
Dave Chappelle was absolutely incredible. He's somewhere. He's still doing stuff.
Yeah, he's still. I mean,
opinions vary.
Yeah, he's rubbed a certain sector the wrong way, but
opinions vary on Dave Chappelle these days.
But he's still got the comedic chops, man. Still got the comedic chops,
dude. His last SNL hosting gig was incredible.
Oh, it was. I know his been hit or miss. Oh yeah, the stand-up. Yeah.
His stand-up opening monologue for the last time he did it was great. But
his George Floyd stand-up special that he did, that one was really, really good and solid. That was like right before it became a turn on Chappelle. Oh, yeah. But that one was like a really solid one. Yeah.
People contain multitudes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'll say.
Yep.
Okay, so Veronica then calls Lizzie over after she just reveals that Cole jizzes quick. And she's like, hey, where's Meg? She was supposed to meet with me today about this whole purity test thing, and she's not here. And Liz is like, oh, she didn't come to school today because my parents found out about the purity test stuff, and now she's in trouble. I was like, oh, ooh, that sucks. So then Meg is at home crying, and she's beside herself. She's in bed, and Veronica goes and pays her a visit. And Meg's like, my parents are really upset about this purity test thing. They want to sue the school. But then my dad found love letters from a guy in Spain that I met when I was over there. And I was like, oh, so was all of that true that Cole was talking about?
Yeah, this is where I was like, oh no, is this episode going to do that thing where they double down on like, oh, you thought she was a good girl and she was pretending to be a good girl, but she's actually the bad girl. And I was like, if she is the bad girl, it's a twist for the mystery, but what does it say about judging people? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you were right to slut sneeze her because she is. Like, I don't know if it was gone that way. It's like what the Wanda thing, where it's like, hey, Wanda's got some valid points, but she's actually a narc. So, like, you know what? Let's not listen to her talking about the school's disenfranchisement because she's a narc for some reason.
Yeah. But it seems more like the guy in Spain had like an unrequited love for Meg.
How many people writing this girl love letters? Even Cole. We just found out Cole was writing love letters. How many?
Yeah.
What's this girl's?
Everybody was lusting after that.
Yeah.
Not hooking up with girl.
Veronica's like, hey, you mind writing one of these love letters to this Abel Koontz guy? Maybe we hit him from different angles, just in case.
But then Meg goes, Veronica, gotta be honest with you, I don't know how you do it. Veronica's like, how I do what? And she's like, I mean, people talk mad shit about you, dude. They say some fucking horrible stuff, and you're like, fine. Like, I'm in bed. I took the day off because people think that I hooked up with some guy from Spain. But people say way worse shit about you, and I don't know how you do it. Veronica goes, I don't know, kid. Just get tough. Just get tough.
She says, you get tough, you get even.
Yeah, right.
Now, initially in my thought, I was like, who has she gotten even against? But it's all set up for what happens later.
Yeah. Get tough, kid. Get tough, you get even. You know what they say, eye for an eye? I say 2 eyes for an eye. So then we have Wallace and his family coming home. They open the door. It smells like gas. Wallace rushes in with a towel over his face. Jeremy had left the stove on, apparently.
All of the burners are on. It's a gas stove. Yeah. It's leaking gas. Why did he do this?
I have no fucking idea.
It doesn't seem like Jeremy is like a crazy drug addict, heroin guy, especially from what we find out later. So this, and it's not like if I scare them out of their main house, I get the house.
Yeah, I don't know what his plan is. Or...
and like all the burners are on. Like this seems like this is like something you have to do intentionally.
Yeah.
Because the pilot lights have to be out.
Absent-minded. He lost his steak earlier.
He made left the stove. He made a 5-course lunch. I just couldn't believe they were standing on the porch. I'm like, get away from the house.
Yeah.
But then I was also blown away by what happens next.
Yeah, so they call the police, and the police show up and they're like, we can't help you. Have you thought about giving this guy an eviction notice? And then Wallace's mom is like, well, I can't. If I do that, like, it's going to take at least like 60 days. Yeah. So I can't really like kick him out immediately. And then who knows, like he's already breaking into my house to like leave all this, the fucking burners on. And the cops are like, what you going to do? I can't help you. My hands are tied here.
Yeah. The squatters' rights things are crazy in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Or in like California in general.
Then Wallace is like, okay. All right, I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands. So Wallace goes to Veronica's house again.
Well,
and
this is where I was confused.
Okay.
Because Wallace he just shows up at Veronica's house. And alone around like dinner time. And he's like, hey, you guys mind if I stay here tonight? My place is being exterminated. Which has to be.
Wallace has been lying throughout because he lied to Veronica about what his mom said about Veronica. I think last time he was there, he was kind of lying. But then he also does talk about.
Wait, when did he lie about? What did he lie?
When Veronica was over and she flashes her boobs, quote unquote boobs at Wallace.
Oh,
and then he just comes back. He's like, oh no, it wasn't about that. My mom was talking about something else.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really. I mean, that was she knows what that was about. And like here, he kind of opens up and says the stuff too about like he comes clean with it, but he wasn't hiding about like the neighbor thing either. Like, but he brings up the neighbor like the next time she sees him, like the neighbors pissed him off. The tenant.
Yeah,
I mean,
but why does he say he's getting exterminated?
I think he's trying to hide the fact of what's going on. But I was like, one, if you were having an exterminator, it wouldn't be like I showed up and didn't make a phone call, right?
Yeah.
2, where's your mom and dad? Or mom and brother? But my question was not where the mom and brother is. It's like, is he just going to their place because he doesn't want to be around the house? And is he leaving his mom and brother with that like psycho guy who just almost burned the house down? I just wasn't sure like where they are in this situation.
Exactly, because I was assuming that the house wasn't safe to be in, so they would be somewhere else. So, like, did they get a hotel? And he was like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, because that's the thing I needed to know. I was like, did he just bail on his mom and brother?
Yeah. But Wallace, he starts kind of laying out like, yeah, he left the stove on, like this Jeremy guy's like really being a problem. And then Veronica's like, Dad, did you pay him a visit? And Keith is like, yeah, I did. I talked to Wallace's mom about it, but she said that she could handle it and I don't want to overstep anything. And then Veronica goes, really? That's interesting because overstepping is like kind of your thing. And Keith is like, yeah, I guess it is. I just remembered I, wink, wink, left something at my office, wink, wink. I'll be back later. See you guys.
And as soon as he leaves, Wallace starts taking off his clothes and like, we got rid of him. We did it, Veronica.
Jeremy doesn't even exist. That's just an actor.
That's just an actor we paid to get. Now we have a place to ourselves.
Yeah, and Wallace's mom thinks that he's not staying at Veronica's house because Wallace's mom doesn't like Veronica. Wallace's mom thinks that Wallace is staying at a made-up friend's named Norman's house, who's a straight-A student. And Veronica's like, why did you make up that lie, huh? And he's like, I'll be straight up with you. My mom has heard bad shit about your family, dude. And Veronica's like, yeah, that checks out. You want some popcorn?
And then she goes,
and then they have like this seductive popcorn. Like,
seductive popcorn? Oh, what?
I don't know, man. Like they linger on Wallace's face, and he's like, "Ooh, popcorn." And then they linger on Veronica making the popcorn, and then we have a Veronica inner monologue of just like, Meg asked me if it ever bothers me about people talking shit about my family, and I like to say that I got tough, but sometimes it does get to me.
And then she starts having like PTSD when the popcorn pops from that shootout that she was. I'd be so like, because Wallace shows up and Keith goes, "Hey, we just finished dinner. You want us to make you something?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Or like, "You want some?" And he's like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And then Keith is leaving, and then Veronica doesn't go, "Hey, we still have like leftover food from what we ate." She's like, "You want some popcorn? Some microwave popcorn, generic brand, not." Generic TV show brand popcorn. And I was like, dude, get the man a plate.
I know, right? Keith said we just finished dinner. We have leftovers.
Yeah, do you want me to make your plate?
I mean, we did see that they had like ice cream sundaes for dinner that one time, so
that
might have been popcorn for dinner.
That's what Veronica was making, and Keith wanted her to eat something healthier. But like, but they just have the popcorn so she can turn away and have her inner monologue.
Yeah. So we go over to Wallace or Keith doing some investigating on Jeremy. Sees that Jeremy's an ex-con.
Crazy that he didn't do this immediately after.
You're right.
Getting the name.
Then we go to Wallace's house and we see Jeremy like breaking into their house. It's late at night. And he's like going through their fridge. And he turns and Keith is there drinking a beer.
Did he get the beer from the fridge or did he bring its own?
I have no idea. But if I'm Jeremy, I'm like, oh, I made a new friend. Are you breaking in here too, buddy? I do this every fucking Tuesday, man. Let's go.
We can take this family for all it's worth. Let's go.
We partying. Let's do it. But instead, Jeremy's like, who the hell are you? And Keith is like, I'm your worst fucking nightmare guy. You're going to leave, and you're going to leave by 6 a.m, or things are going to happen. And Jeremy's like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? I don't know you, dude.
I love closing the fridge and the light goes dark while he's still drinking the beer. While Keith's still drinking a beer.
Yeah. And it's not like, again, Keith is not threatening.
Here's my thing. So Wallace's mom and brother are somewhere else, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they have to be because Keith is...
Or did Keith... Or are they upstairs? I don't know. God. I don't know.
They just hear this kerfuffle downstairs. It is midnight because Keith is like, you got 6 hours to leave. Mm-hmm. And dude, I just love that Jeremy's like, whatever, dude, fuck off. He just grabs something from the fridge and he goes back to his apartment.
I really just want Wallace's brother to come down and see Keith in the living room, in the kitchen, just drinking a beer in the dark.
Go back upstairs, little one.
How does Keith even know that this guy's going to come in that night?
I don't know.
It's so
he's
windy.
Just in there, man, waiting.
Yeah,
because he's Batman. He's Keith, man.
Yeah.
And then the next shot after Jeremy's like, fuck you, I'm not leaving. Go ahead, try to make me. We cut to 6 a.m. alarm clock going off in Jeremy's little apartment. Mm-hmm. Keith whacks the alarm off and it goes into Jeremy's ear. He's like, time to get up. Time is up. You're supposed to be gone here, buddy. And Jeremy's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Has he been up all night drinking? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, because he's drinking during this kind of.
Keith is a wild dude.
And Keith Keith is like in Jeremy's ear, like softly whispering, like
it's wild.
He's just like, you're going to leave and you're going to pack your bags and you're never going to, I forget what Wallace's family's name is, but he's like, you're never going to bother Miss
They got a crazy
Fennel,
last
that's her
name.
name.
Yeah.
You're never going to bother Miss Fennel again. And you're going to leave and you're never going to come back here. And Jeremy's like, what? And then Keith's like, yeah, I read up on you. I know that you think that you're some crazy guy. You think that you're so crazy. You want to see crazy? I'll fucking show you crazy. And then he starts shaking the bed and barking. And then he runs around and he's waving his arms like a fucking wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. And he's going, woo, 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 woo. Shakes the bed some more. And then Jeremy's looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And Keith's like, yeah, I'm fucking crazy.
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yes, dude. Yes. But Keith is double strapped up with the guns.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I think he was trying to say that this guy does a crazy guy act to get away with like not paying rent and stuff, and just like manipulate and take advantage of stuff. I couldn't tell what he saw on the police record. I wasn't like zooming in, but Keith shaking the bed and barking was weird. Yeah, and then he drops that and gets into like, I felt like he felt more emotionally unhinged than crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, but again, like
I would still be worried about. I would just be worried about this guy.
His body movements are so bizarre, and I cannot stop thinking about Charlie Brownhead.
He
does like this back bend thing where he's like, woo!
Yeah.
I was like, this is supposed to intimidate this guy. Like he was
honestly
about to whack.
If it was just Keith hanging out and just hanging around, I'd be like, maybe I need to get out of here. He wouldn't even have to try to put on a crazy act. I'd be like, I can't be around this guy.
His aura is unsettling.
Yeah.
So then we see Keith like legs kicked up on Mrs. Fennel's porch. And he's opening up the newspaper as Jeremy's packing his bags, and he's like making sure that Jeremy's leaving, which is like, okay, yeah, good on you, Keith.
Yeah, but I mean, feet kicked up. Like, you don't know what time Wallace's mom's coming home.
Right? So then we go back to Veronica and Wallace at the apartment, and Wallace is like, I can't find my keys anywhere. I don't know what's going on. And they're like, well, we got to go. We got to get ready to go to school. Don't worry about it. And Wallace is like, no, I got to find my keys. So then Keith comes home and he's got like a bag of bread. And he's like, anybody want breakfast?
Yeah, he had something from like a bake. I wasn't paying attention that much, but yeah.
And then
another 6-pack.
And then Veronica's like, oh no, we're good. We're just like trying to head back to school, but Wallace can't find his keys. And Keith is like, oh, I think I saw them. And he digs into his pocket and he pulls out Wallace's keys. He's like, found them. Always in the last place you look. And Wallace gives him the look like, oh shit, okay, something went down. And then Keith grabs his bag of bread and he walks out. He's like, have a good day at school, guys.
Now, thinking about this, how did Keith get these keys?
Yes. As I was breaking down the scene with him leaving.
Yes.
I was like, is he the pickpocket?
He never, I don't think he walks that close to him because he's behind the counter. He's on the other side of the island.
Yeah.
Did he? Okay, so this is what happened. No, because he's already so he went to the detective place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saw like Came back home.
Stole
Wallace's keys. Picked up another beer. Went and sat in that. That's a lot of dedication for this.
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't have anything to do the next day, but apparently he does because he's at the office.
Yep.
Take a nap in that place.
I mean, this is a fun Keith mission. I did like that he's like standing on that business and helping out.
Here's what I'll say. As crazy and weird as Keith has been, I'm all for it. Just keep making it weird, dude.
Fuck it, dude. Yeah.
Just bring it on, dude.
You make it weirder.
Yeah.
Crank it up. Got Duncan doing all kinds of, I don't know what he is.
Douchery, like trying to be cool, but like missing the mark.
At least Keith is consistently weird.
Yes, 100%. At least the character is consistently weird. Duncan is all over the place. And that drug episode did not help.
Nope.
Yeah.
So then we go to school and Mac is helping Veronica. They're talking about buying the purity tests. And Veronica's like, man, somebody must have spent a lot of money to get all these purity tests. Like, do you think we could buy one? And Mac is like, you think I got that kind of money? You saw my fucking car, dude. It was covered in mud. And
have you ever thought about selling steroids?
Just don't double cross this roid rage guy.
Yeah.
He'll call you a punk bitch or whatever.
I mean, there's an opening in the market now that he's in jail. So.
Yeah. So Veronica asks Mac to find the dummy corporation info for the purity test stuff. And Veronica finds out that she's been locked out of her email account because someone else is logged in on her account right at that moment. And it's in the journalism room, according to Mac, who's tip-tapping and hacking away.
It's nice that she knows the IP addresses of every single room in the school. Right.
So they go over to the journalism room and there's nobody in there, but they go over to a computer and they see the computer that Veronica's logged in on and they're checking and Veronica's like, yeah, nothing seems suspicious except for my outbox. I have a sent email to Duncan where it says that I'm still in love with him and I'm very much not over him. But when we dated, I had VD and you should go get STD checked. And Veronica's like, oh my God, is this a nightmare? Usually I am naked when I'm in a nightmare and this happens. And then they get a DM from Froggy.
Yeah. So when she first gets to her computer, they make sure that she says all my personal information is actually on my personal email. Because she reacted to it. I was like, oh, fuck, that message she sent to Abel Kane is somehow going to be tied to this. Abel Koontz. Well, because the way she reacted to it was like, holy shit, yeah, this could be damning, like something like that.
Yeah.
But then she said, oh, someone sent an email to Duncan. And I was like, but it said, did you have VD? I'm like, I don't think you had sex with him that you know of when you guys were dating. So like, he would obviously read that email and be like, this is some dumb bullshit. Also, probably doesn't sound like anything Veronica's ever said ever.
Yeah.
But
especially now that she's tough.
Yeah.
She's jaded.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, they get a DM from Froggy and Froggy's like, you still there? And then Veronica's like, let's try and play this Froggy guy. And Veronica's like, I need a password. And Froggy goes, another one? And Veronica's like, case fucking closed. Caught him.
I was like,
I already
know.
There's only one Froggy. There's only one Froggy that I know, and he doesn't say ribbit. He says, s'il vous plaît, motherfucker.
I love a French guy with... Why would he call himself Froggy?
No idea.
And then they say during the scene, they realize that the person's not in school because they're talking to you, but they didn't hit the school bell. And I was like,
yeah.
And I guess because he doesn't work there most of the time or something. But yeah, I do like that the person on that computer didn't sign out and just left it open and left the computer, that one computer they use in the journalism room.
So Veronica then finds where Froggy Rennie is.
I don't understand how she figured this part out.
She's Batman.
Her dad's Batman.
Yeah, they're both Batman. So she finds out where he is and what he's doing. They go to like Makeout Point, which is on the beach or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, I found out that Rennie likes to hook up with young girls on the beach or whatever. And she takes her camera. She's doing all kinds of flash photography into this car. Like she takes like 15 pictures.
The amount how deep, how into the sex you would have to be to not notice flashes on the beach where you're trying to be secluded.
Yep.
Insane.
And, dude, you're doing something illegal.
Well,
if you're Rennie.
I thought they didn't need to add this little wrinkle to it. I thought this was an unnecessary layer to it, which we'll talk about. But it's no way you don't notice a person taking photos of you at night.
Especially like flash.
Flat, yeah.
Well, you also hear like the sex sounds that are going on, and it sounded like they were like, oh no, oh wait, what's going on?
Unless they're blindfolded.
Yeah. But yeah. So Veronica's got pictures of this Rennie guy having sex with a mystery.
Why are they not in a house or an apartment? It's no reason for them.
Rennie should have a place, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But so Veronica's the next day, she's trying to figure out who would want to ruin Meg's reputation. She's like going through the suspects in her head. She's like, could it be Lizzie, the sister who's jealous and living in the shadow? Could it be Cole, the boyfriend that wanted to hook up but couldn't get it done?
Where is Logan?
Yeah.
She hasn't blamed Logan yet. Come on.
Yeah. This wouldn't be a Veronica Mars episode without blaming Logan and Logan being like, I didn't do it. I'm telling you nothing.
Yeah.
But then she's like, or is it Kimmy? The girl living in the shadow of the perfection of Meg.
I do love that Veronica is going through this, but she knows the answer. So this is just for us.
It's literally for us. Only for us.
Yeah.
So Kimmy walks up to Veronica, and Veronica's like, oh, hey, what's up, Kimmy? Interesting night you had last night. And Kimmy's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I got pictures of you fucking a 23-year-old computer IT guy. Here they are. I have your face clearly visible in them, and caught you red-handed. And Kimmy's like, oh my God. Okay. Okay, you caught me hooking up. And Veronica's like, yeah, you're 17. He's 23. That's kind of frowned upon in this country. And
now, this is my point where why not just make her 18?
Yeah.
Because you don't need this level of like, oh, this is a statutory situation, when the whole plot of the whole episode has been slut shaming people. Right.
Yeah.
So her sleeping with the IT guy should just be bad enough for reputation. It doesn't need to also have this extra layer of like, now we got a statutory dude that's in the school that has to be getting fired now because this has been played in every classroom, which we find out later. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know I'm getting ahead, but it's just like, yeah.
So Veronica's like, why'd you do it, Kimmy? Why did you want to ruin Meg's reputation? Why did you post her purity test? And Kimmy's like, I didn't post it. And Veronica's like, well, who did? And Kimmy's like, it was Pam. Pam did it because...
No, she did post...
Kimmy did?
Kimmy posted...
Oh, yes. Kimmy posted Meg's, but Pam posted Veronica's.
Mm-hmm.
Because Veronica's like, why did you want to ruin my reputation too? Like, of course you messed with the wrong person. And Kimmy's like, I didn't want to mess with you. You know who did is Pam, because Pam is obsessed with Duncan, and Duncan is still hung up on you. And that's why she wanted to take you out. And Veronica's like, okay, cool. Opens her locker, and she's been video recording this whole conversation. And Pam is like,
Kimmy.
What are you going to do with that tape? Oh, yeah. Kimmy's like, what are you going to do with that tape? Definitely not go to the police with it because we got a statutory rape situation.
And then Veronica also goes like, so Rennie was running this purity test scam, right? And she's like, no, I don't even think he knows about the thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't have that. And my big note in this scene is, Kimmy, smash the camera.
Yeah, dude. Don't just stand there.
Veronica, why are you doing the thing that you do every time where you show your hand way too soon? You could have been like, all right, I know that. And then let her walk away. And then you open the locker. You don't have to open it in front of her.
She just wants to rub it in their faces, dude.
And I'm sorry, Kimmy, you have nothing to lose. Try to smash that camera.
Yeah, Kimmy's just left there standing like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that tape?
Tackle her. He's 5'1". Like, this is everything. If that tape gets out, it's over for you.
Wow. Veronica goes up to the morning news desk and she's like, hey, here's the tapes of the lacrosse team winning the game or whatever.
No, it's like, isn't it Pam? It's Pam that's giving the tapes out to people, I think, right?
Maybe.
Like, yeah, I think Pam is giving the tapes because later Veronica has a voiceover of like, oh, maybe cue it up or give an editing cue or something.
Okay, could be. It was dark in that room.
Or not Pam, sorry. Meg was handling it because Meg's the one doing the reporting.
Yeah, so Meg's doing the morning high school news and she's talking and she's like, hey, our high school lacrosse team, again, lacrosse, definitely not happening in Neptune.
Is it? I mean, did they have lacrosse out here? Maybe, I don't know.
2004, dude? No.
What do you think? They have it now? Why not 2004?
Yes, they have it now. It became like more widespread in the last like 5 years. Like Notre Dame had a number one lacrosse team. Colorado had a number one lacrosse team. It's like slowly, incrementally making its way across the country.
Okay. Yeah, let us know. Let us know on Discord if you're a California
2004.
native. Yeah.
Did your high school have a lacrosse team? If you're a West Coaster.
Lax,
baby. Actually have 2 lacrosse balls sitting on my desk as we speak. But
why? Never mind.
It's from my actual release, Vance. You never use a lacrosse ball to break up some knots, my dude?
No.
Yeah, I'm a physical specimen. I need to do that kind of shit. I don't know if you remember from a couple episodes ago.
You're tall.
I'm tall. But in parentheses, big.
Yeah, no.
But so Meg's like, yeah, we got the tape. Let's play that tape. Roll that beautiful bean footage. And they start playing the tape. And it's the tape of Kimmy admitting to all of the stuff that Veronica had videotaped. And then Kimmy starts freaking out. Pam starts freaking out. Everyone's upset at Kimmy and all this shit. And it's pandemonium in the newsroom. Mm-hmm. And Veronica's sitting in class just snickering.
Yeah, but it also comes out, the part that gets recorded is that Duncan is sitting in front of Veronica, and it comes out like, oh, Pam did this because Duncan is still hung up on you. And he has a face like,
Duncan
whoa.
raises his eyebrow.
And then that's when Veronica's like, maybe I should cue up the tape better or something for that. I was like, yeah, you probably should go home and edit that part out if you didn't want it to be shown.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So then we have Veronica doing a victory lap. She's walking through the parking lot. Somebody has vandalized Dick Calabasas's car. He's got some kind
She has.
Oh, it was her?
Yeah, because she goes like, that's her like payback thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, his engine's smoking.
Yeah, even her voiceover like kind of hints towards that.
Okay. And then we see that Mac has a new car, and it turns out that Mac was the one behind the purity scam the whole time. She's got a nice little lime green Volkswagen Beetle convertible. She honks and waves at Veronica. She stole a bunch of money from the 09ers, and Veronica's like, good on you, girl.
When did she buy that car? Just like between...
Yep.
Just between class periods?
Yep. So Meg shows up. She thanks Veronica for helping her. Also in the background, I took a note that the band Spoon is playing. Great band. Great indie rock. They were also on the OC soundtrack. They were blasting off at this time. And Meg makes mention of like, yeah, you know what? I guess I got tough. But Veronica, you should be careful about getting even. Because you know what? You have friends here. And Veronica's like, oh, I have friends.
She's like, can you name 3 of them?
Yeah. Then Veronica goes, I mean, a long time ago, we used to be friends, but haven't heard from you lately at all. Come on now, sugar.
Yeah, that's how it sounds to me.
Yep.
Meg got her reputation back. Cole tried to apologize, but she doesn't want to hear it. Yep. Interesting that Meg was basically Veronica as like the nice girl in the 09ers clique, which you would just always be like, I don't understand the old Niners because I don't understand how Cole and Meg were a part of it. I mean, I guess they just have money, so you're in. But it doesn't feel like there's a full mentality of the old Niners that's like overriding it. It seems like it's you're rich, you're in it, but it's a wide swath of personalities.
Yeah, because Logan is like the one driving on campus with a flask, and he's like, y'all want a drink?
And Ryan Hansen's a fucking mess.
Yeah, and then like, but also Cole and Meg are like, we're pure, like saving ourselves till marriage, and Duncan's a virgin, but he's also a robot, but he's also class president, but he's also like knows about, have you done reverse cowgirl?
Like, Duncan is so fucking lame. And it's like, you would think Logan would take over just in popularity of like his dad's in movies will be more popular than my dad's a tech guy.
Yeah. But Duncan is more handsome than Logan. So you have to factor that in.
I don't know, man.
Are you kidding me? Duncan's way more handsome than Logan.
Logan's
got them fat fucking cheeks.
You gotta add some like once Logan's personality is a problem too, but Duncan irks me a little more in a weird way.
He definitely is more annoying.
Yeah.
But Duncan is like, he's all over the place. I mean, he's a mess.
I'd rather Duncan just like be too cool for school and not try to, like when he tries to be funny, it's like cringe.
Well, it's like last episode we made Duncan like good guy, like we're gonna do away with all the pirate points and all this shit. Or that was two episodes ago. I don't remember.
He wasn't in the last episode.
But like he's like good guy, and Veronica's like, yeah, he's a good guy. And then this episode he's like, yeah, fucking reverse cowgirl. Yeah, Meg's such a slut. It's he's like, what are you?
Douchebag in that second scene. I don't remember exactly what he said, but yeah. I don't.
But speaking of this douchebag, he walks by and Veronica grabs him and she's like, hey, I got to explain that somebody hacked into my email and sent you a thing about how I still love you and I'm hung up on you. And it's not true. And Duncan's like, okay, so you're not still hung up on me? And she's like, no. And he's like, okay, cool. Cause I'm not hung up on you at all either. Anyway. And Veronica's like, and I definitely didn't have VD when we were together. And Duncan's like, well, I don't know. I do have this fucking thing that it's been growing on my lip. And then they like punch each other. Like, what are they, slugger?
Yeah, when he does that like VD joke thing, it's just like he can't deliver those well for me. Like, it's so like, I was like, I could see this is like something that Troy's character would do too. Mm-hmm. And it would always be kind of weirdly like, dude, that's like, he would have done something a little more aggressive. He would have pulled his pants, but like, well, I don't know. Down there, it's a lot worse. Like,
why don't you get up close and take a look at it?
Yeah. But when Duncan does this, it's like, I get what they're trying to do. And like, but it's just delivered in a way where I'm like, ugh. And Duncan was in the last episode and he had a scene I did like is when he just no sells Veronica talking about Did you know how parents used to date? Okay.
Crazy.
Like that's the Duncan I need. I need like I just don't give a fuck about anything, Duncan. Like when he tries to be funny and he's singing on the bleachers and acting weird, I don't need that.
Well, he was off the meds.
Is he on them or off now? What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
That med episode, I'm just gonna kind of pretend that doesn't happen because I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah. So we then go to Keith's office. Wallace's mom shows up and she's like, hey, I'm sorry for how I treated you earlier and I was kind of rude. I just heard a bunch of bad stuff about you. And Keith's like, yeah, that checks out. A lot of people talk mad shit about me and I do bad shit, so it makes sense. And she's like, well, thanks, I guess, for getting that guy out of my hair. And he's like, yeah, no problem. You want some coffee? And then they start drinking coffee together. And I was like, oh boy, are they going to hook up now?
She says he's a decent man. And then I just have a note that says, please don't have them dating.
Yep. So then we have the scene. A lot of choices in this scene.
I loved every single one of them.
So Veronica goes to the prison to meet with Abel Koontz. And Abel Koontz, this is the first time we're really hearing him talk. Abel Koontz has the most insane accent.
He has a sassy Southern accent, and it is amazing.
He has like a Chrisley knows best, like,
yeah.
Well, hello there. But he's also trying to do like a Hannibal Lecter type thing.
Yes,
as well.
I have. My note says he's a sassy Southern Hannibal Lecter type.
Holy shit, yeah.
And I want more of him. I need him in every episode.
Yeah. So Veronica sits down. She's like, oh, hey there, Mr. Koontz. It's so nice to finally meet you. And he's like, hello, Veronica. It's very nice to see someone from the old town, from the old hometown. Is the Pear Blossom Festival still happening? And Veronica's like, oh, you mean the apple blossom, Mr. Koontz? And he's like, I thought I could ensnare you with a nice little trick, but you're too clever.
Which doesn't make any sense that he even would pull off that little apple pear trick.
Yeah, not at all, because he knows what's happening.
Yeah.
But Veronica's like, well, Mr. Koontz, I just wanted to come here and tell you, I've been investigating. I'm doing some private investigating myself, Mr. Koontz, and I discovered something. Do these shoes here look familiar to you, Mr. Koontz? I mean, I feel like that could exonerate you and leave you free. Why would you? And then Abel Koontz is like, look here, miss. Let's drop the charade. I know who you are. I know that you're Keith Mars's daughter, Veronica. You think I didn't know that? You think I didn't know that you were here? I don't want a retrial. And then Veronica's like, so why don't you want a retrial? And then he's like, I knew that you would never be able to tell. You don't know what's going on. Of course you don't know there's larger things at play. Do you think that you're the daughter of the bumbling town sheriff? You think that? Look in the mirror, Veronica Mars. Who do you really think is your father? And Veronica's like, I don't know. What are you saying to me? And he's like, your real father is the prom king and prom queen. And you knew it down deep in your heart. This conversation is over. And he hangs up the phone. Guard. And then he walks out.
Silence the lambs, Clarice. You're always trying to silence the lambs, Clarice.
Oh, God. When he started with this accent, I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I was all for it, man. This is the kind of off the wall shit that I'm for. And I love that he's like, I'm so happy he was like, yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Like you guys are.
You think I don't know who you are, Veronica Mars?
Like I would have seen, yeah. And he's like, and he says he smashed her head in. That he killed Lilly. And then
he also says, like, I'm a little disappointed that I thought I was going to be talking to another girl that's the same age as the girl that I.
But he knows this Veronica as soon as he sees the picture. So, like, all of the stuff about the pear and apple blossom trick, is he testing to see how clever she is? Because my note when he first showed up was like, why'd this freak want to see a young girl? And it's like, oh. Because it's like, why would you? I don't care if she's like, I'm doing a report. If she's doing a report, she's going to ask you about the one reason you're in jail. What else would she ask you about? Hey, so when you worked at the at Kane's business, you were in charge of IT tech. Like, what do you think she wants? It's going to be about the murder, the giant murder case.
Yeah.
Talks about the mom like being like smart enough, but the bumbling sheriff's not willing to let it go, and she's not willing to let it go, and then just drops the "your dad's not your dad" bomb on her like hard.
Yeah. You really think Keith Mars is your father? I am your
Yeah. And then the episode ends with Veronica crying in her car. Like, probably they could have panned out and we would have found a bunch of people crying in that car from their meetings of death row inmates.
Yeah. Yeah, Veronica shook.
Yeah.
Crying in her car. That's that. So,
which is a good time to bring up our thing. Predict Lilly's killer.
Yes. Who actually killed my dear sweet Lilly Kane? I am going to be stuck doing that voice. It's such a fun voice to do. A little like Skeletor kind of. Ugh. Dude, I could not. When he picked up that phone and he was going for it, I was like, oh, all right.
It was seriously a sassy Southern Hannibal Lecter. I loved it.
Yeah.
I predicted last week I forgot to do it here, so I did it on the Dollhouse episode of Echoes. But
Patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy.
And yeah, I'm going to say I think Lilly's killer is still either Keith or now this guy.
I think Celeste hired Weevil.
Oh, you're sticking with the Weevil thing?
Yeah.
I would lean more towards Celeste having an affair with Abel. And Abel killed her.
Well, one thing we Celeste all can agree on.
There's some stuff with Celeste, but I'm still saying Keith right now because that would be wild.
One thing we all can agree on: Lilly needed to be taken out. That's just steadfast. The boys stand for two things.
Don't say the boys. That's the
boys stand for two things: supporting sluts, man, woman, any other gender. And that Lilly Kane needed to be taken out. Anyway,
that's the boy. The boy stands for that.
Next episode is titled "Drinking the Kool-Aid." I'm going to predict they go to a party. It's jungle juice. No, this is going to be the one where Veronica finds out.
Yeah, I was like,
this is going to be the one. Yeah, because that scene, she's drinking a mystery drink that somebody hands her. This is the one where we find out a little bit more about how. Do you want to know how I lost my virginity?
Finding out that your dad is not your dad in this. I think drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm trying to think of like the other meaning of it, you know?
Somebody breaks down a wall, says, "Oh yeah."
I don't know how this has happened. Drinking the Kool-Aid. Fuck,
Weevil tries to join the 09ers and he starts to.
Are you making a prediction or are you making this?
No, my prediction is going to be the same thing. But
okay, I'm trying. There's something about someone trying to fit in with someone they're drinking the Kool-Aid as in like they're buying into something. I don't know exactly
tries to join the PCH biker gang, and then she has to do an initiation thing.
Is this your prediction?
Yeah. She's proving to Weevil that she's not like the 09ers. Because remember, we're going to get I'm going to make a specific prediction.
Well, this is already. I will guarantee that this is wrong. We just found out at the end of this episode she is all 09er.
Nope. She's trying to get in good with the PCH biker gang. We're going to get in the recap. We're going to get Weevil telling Veronica, like, you think you're not like them, but you're still all like them. You're an insider. You're not an outsider like we are. Veronica's going to have to do some initiation to join the biker gang. She's drinking the Kool-Aid to become a biker gang member.
I'm going to say someone starts to try to fit it. Like someone believes they're fitting in somehow into something. Like they start to buy their own hype or whatever. And okay. Also, there might be a cult.
Oh, a cult. Okay. All right. Well, that's a wrap for Like a Virgin, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hop on Discord. Let us know what you thought. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. Check out Boys Watching Dollhouse. And also this week, we will be releasing the Jennifer's Body episode of our Boys Watching Movie tier podcast.
Starring Amanda Seyfried and Adam Brody from the OC.
Adam Brody from the OC. Megan Fox. Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. TikTok at Boys Watching Buffy. BoysWatchingBuffy at gmail.com. buffyverseburlesque.eventbrite.com. If you use a little discount, I got a little discount code for the listeners of the podcast. If you use the discount promo code Boys Watching Buffy, all caps, no spaces, you get a little discount on them tickets if you want to come to the show. So there's that. And yeah, that's a wrap. Stay tuned next time for when we talk about drinking the Kool-Aid.
Dick Casablancas. You can see me after class.
Congratulations, Dick. You just made my list.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.